The NFL season is upon us, just days away, and I am here to make my season predictions for the New York Jets. Let's talk about it. And well, welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Watsu-K99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. If you're brand new, welcome aboard. Please like and subscribe. If you're returning, welcome back. Reminder, we go live every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. This Wednesday night, we're doing a season preview for the entire NFL. Can't wait to see everybody there. It's going to be fantastic. So, today what I want to talk about specifically are my season predictions on the New York Jets. We've actually done videos about the offseason. We made offseason predictions. We went back and recapped those because we hold ourselves accountable on this channel. So I am going to make predictions today on the Jets offense, defense. Of course, I got to do some special teams predictions because I'm into my special teams. And I'm going to give you a couple of other predictions about year-end awards, about Pro Bowl, and I will give you my prediction on right now how far I think the Jets will go in the playoffs if they make the playoffs. Well, let's get right into it. The first thing I have to talk about is number 8, Aaron Rodgers. So for stats, I think Aaron Rodgers will complete 67% of his passes. He will throw for 3,486 yards, 36 touchdowns, and just 8 interceptions. Now, with the completion percentage, the last 3 years he has completed 70.7% of his passes, then went down to 68.9. Last year it really dropped down to 64.6. So this year I see a slight uptick from that up to 67, and I think that's going to get better as the year goes on. But early on, I expect a lot of short passes for a high percentage. Now, he had, as far as the yardage goes, he had 4,000 yards or more pretty much every year up until last year. He threw for 3,695. I think the overall yardage goes down a little bit. I think the Jets are going to run a lot more than I think most people realize. The Jets have great depth at running back between Hall, Cook, Carter, and Abanikanda. I even think Nick Bawden at fullback will get a few reps running the football, especially on a 3rd down and 1 or on a goal line situation. I don't see Rodgers throwing deep a ton, as much as some people think. He's still working on getting that connection with Mecole Hardman. You know, even though he's got a good connection with Garrett Wilson, I think they're still working on getting the timing right. I expect more of a West Coast style offense early on in the season. A lot of running back usage, a lot of tight end usage. Okay, and the thing with the interceptions, you know, Rodgers has not had double-digit interceptions since 2012. You know, but last year he was playing with a lot of wide receivers he didn't know very well. Coming into the Jets this year, he has an offense he knows because he's working with Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator, and he knows 2 of the receivers very well, in Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb. So I think that will help keep the turnovers down. Now, with some other offensive predictions, I predict Garrett Wilson will break at least 2 of the Jets' single-season receiving records, which are all currently held by Brandon Marshall. So in 2015, Marshall had 109 catches for 1,502 yards and 14 touchdowns. I think Wilson will break at least 2 of those records. That's how big of a jump I think Wilson can make. I also predict JeremyRuckert will emerge as a legitimate red zone threat. So far his career, he has 1 catch for 8 yards. This year, I think he's going to have 4 touchdowns receiving, and he will push cjuzomah down the depth chart. I think Ruckert and Conklin will become the 1-2 punch at tight end, and you're going to see the Jets play a whole lot of 12 formation with 1 running back and 2 tight ends on the field. I predict the Jets will make a trade during the course of the season. It will be for a wide receiver, but it'll be for a more mid-level player, not a Davante Adams. Maybe a Mike Evans, which would still be really, really good, but no, I don't think the Jets are trading for Davante Adams during the season. I predict that Irv Charles, the wide receiver, yes, I'm making an Irv Charles prediction. I predict that he will get cut after week 1 to make room for Brandon Echols at cornerback when he returns from his 1-game suspension. I predict joetippmann at the offensive line will take over at guard this season, not center. He will get some time at center before the year is over, but right now the Jets don't really trust him to play center because his snapping is a little bit erratic. So I think at some point I could see like a Laken Tomlinson getting hurt, missing a few weeks, and Tippmann gets plugged in at guard because he is showing excellent potential when it comes to blocking. Getting out in space, getting to that second level. I think Tippmann's going to really emerge as the season goes on, but it's not going to be until about midway through the season or so. Maybe around the bye week, somewhere in that area. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of defense predictions. So last year, the Jets finished 5th overall in yards allowed. I think they're going to slip this year a little bit and finish around 10th in yards allowed, mostly due to the stiffer competition that they're playing. And again, we can't overlook, last season, the Jets faced backup quarterbacks 5 times. They were facing Skylar Thompson, Trevor Siemian, on we can go. All right. I do believe the top 5 Jets in sacks will be Quinnenwilliams, carllawson, Brycehuff, John Franklin Myers, and Jermainejohnson. So I think in that order, those are going to be the top 5. The Jets will get 52 sacks this year. Last year they had 45. I think they're going to be even better. I think they're going to get 52 sacks. I predict Jamiensherwood will emerge as a reliable starter at linebacker. He may even become better than Quincywilliams. That's how much I like Sherwood. Put it this way, at least Sherwood's a more reliable tackler. He may not be as flashy as a Quincywilliams, but he is a very reliable tackler. As far as taking the ball away, that was one thing the Jets didn't do well last year. They only had 16 takeaways. That was the 4th least in the NFL. By comparison, Dallas had a league-high 33. New England had 30 takeaways, scored on 7 of them. I predict the Jets will have 21 takeaways this season, and they will score 3 defensive touchdowns. I think they are really going to make that a focus this year. I think they're going to score on defense 3 times. All right. Special teams, gregzuerlein. I will predict he makes 84% of his kicks. That might sound low, but keep in mind, Zuerlein has been around 80% for several years now, but now he's going to have some shorter fields to work with. He's going to be kicking a lot more from 40 yards and in, and when he's kicking from 40 yards or less, he's about 98-99%. He's nearly automatic on those kicks. I also predict xaviergipson will emerge as the team's primary returner, beating out McCole Hardman because he's got to be playing wide receiver now. He's needed in that receiving core. Gibson can focus on the return duties, and I think Randall Cobb's going to be needed on offense as well. So count on Gibson having the big role as the special teams returner. Now, as far as some overall season-ending results, I predict the Jets are going to have 6 Pro Bowlers: Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, alijahveratucker, Quinnenwilliams, C.J. Mosley, mostly by reputation, and Saucegardner. So I think those will be the 6 Pro Bowlers. I think they will have 2 All-Pro players in Garrett Wilson and Quinnenwilliams. I'm going to say that Sauce gets left off this particular year. Now, with a couple of different highlights from the regular season, I actually don't have a good vibe about that first game against Buffalo. I think the Jets lose the season opener to Buffalo. I do think in Week 3 they will beat New England for the first time since the song Hello by Adele was the #1 song in the country. Okay, since December of 2015. So I do believe that is going to happen. I'm going to predict the Jets go 2-4 in their first 6 games. That competition is just really stiff. It's hard for me to imagine them beating Kansas City, beating Philadelphia. I'm just very, very worried about it. And I think it's going to be for 2 weeks. A lot of people are going to be doubting the Jets, writing them off. Then they're going to come out at the bye week, beat the Giants, and get hot. I think overall the Jets will finish 4-2 in the division. I'm going to say 1-1 against Buffalo, 1-1 against Miami, but they will sweep the New England Patriots. I think the Jets will beat the Patriots in the last game of the season, but I got to tell you, I am nervous. The Jets better have that playoff spot clinched by week 17. Can you imagine if the Jets had to go to New England in week 18 to clinch a playoff spot? Oh my gosh. I mean, I hate to use the word pressure because I think it's a very overused word, but those circumstances, I don't care how out of it New England is, that would be their Super Bowl to knock the Jets out of the playoffs if they could do it. So I predict the Jets are going to finish 11-6 overall. I think they're going to secure a wild card berth. And I do believe they will have the top wild card in the AFC. I'm going to say they're going to get the 5 seed, play Jacksonville in the first round, and then beat them. And then from there, see, I have gone back and forth about how far I thought the Jets were really going to go. My final prediction is they are going to make the AFC Championship game, but fall short in that game. As far as who they're going to lose to, well, I'm going to do my full season predictions Wednesday night on the live show, so check that out. But I do believe the Jets will make it to the AFC title game with an 11-6 record. So those are my season predictions for the Jets. Put your predictions down there in the comments. What did I say that you agree with? What points did I make where you think I'm absolutely nuts? It's okay to disagree. It's totally cool. But those are my thoughts. I look forward to seeing yours as well. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.